Scorpio Twin Flames, welcome back for your Twin Flame reading. For those of you who are new, a big warm welcome. And the ones of you who have followed for a long time, thank you for your love and loyalty. I really do appreciate it. I'd like to wish you guys a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I will be still present on YouTube during the time frame and through to January. Also, if you're needing an emergency booking, I still will be available, especially since we're still going to be going through aspects of transformation. So we're going left and right. So if you're needing that added support, please do touch base with me via the website and we can tee a reading up for you. Now, in this Twin Flame reading, it is a new edition, and bear with me as I'm developing it. I'm trying to find a correct format, and I've tested this one out at the moment, but it will be different in January. Now, again, if I do have time, I'll try and do mid-months for this. But I've pulled the energies connected to each element that you may be dealing with, because I know a lot of times in the reading, you know, we're trying to make it as relevant to the point of what we're going through as possible, but because it's a collective energy read, unless it's directly a personal read, it's trying to develop it to a point where you get the downloads, which is what I give you during the month with the live sessions, and I help you gain tools. You know, most of it at the moment isn't in workshop form, but it is in a workshop to the sense where when we have the communication in the live sessions, I give you some techniques and tools to use with the downloads of what I've been receiving of how you can directly relate to the 3D, as well as any premonitions I'm having connected to the collective of what the transformation is within the frequency. This, however, is a different format, and again, developing it that much further as a twin flame reader, especially as a twin myself. But one thing I will say with the energy, this is a karmic cycle wind up. So when you look at it in the travel aspect of your twin flame journey, what does happen is as you finish a cycle, so to speak, you then move on to a next, and you never really repeat the same cycle. So never be in the fear mode connected to, oh God, am I going to deal with this again? Is this going to keep happening? It's not so. It's more in learning and transforming as a human being. Regardless of whether you choose to be on the twin flame journey or not, you always are a twin. So what will happen in your spiritual evolution is other people will transmute twin energy to you. So there will be synchronicities, there'll be downloads, there'll be transformations, there can be blocks at times. So, you know, if we get to that fair mode basis that we're running, that's problematic, because what we're actually running from is the energy, the frequency, and something going on inside ourselves. It's just not the twin. It is us as well. So if we can look at that frequency and we can directly deal with it, we can transform, and then any relationship we choose is going to be of that balanced nature. But even within a soulmate connection, we can still get this frequency. So, you know, if we do remove ourselves due to toxicity within a connection, we're within our right to do that. As well as owning our power is to the point where you're no longer in that codependent energy, but you're very much to the point where you're self-aware. The work is anything that's coming up in your own 3D life. Can be paying your bills, you know, feeling the emotion, getting the download, moving beyond and through it to a point you've evolved through that process. So there's many things connected to the work. Within your reading, you need to understand as well as January is a karmic cycle, you know, a tie-up, so to speak. I am foreseeing for a pocket of you where there will be chaos in a sense of leaping out of one situation and into a next. And if it does come at left field at the most inappropriate time, which is so typical of a twin connection, go with it, know that you have the tools, and know you can deal with it and address it how it fits. Some of you may already be within reunion. Union directly comes from self. So when we see in layman's terms, gee, have I reached union? That's the question you can ask yourself. Have you come to a place where you've balanced the masculine and the feminine energy? And if you have, you're ready then to have reunion to reach secondary stage union, which is within the two. But unless both are within union with self, it's reunion. Do you know what I mean? But don't ever feel that's a bad thing, because it's moving a step forward regardless for you in a soulmate or twin flame direction regardless. Now, the crowning energy is coming through as you're going to hear something, okay? So this is masculine or feminine. This is per the zodiac sign of Scorpio within the twin connection. You will have an aspect of this within your chart as well, perhaps, but you'll have elements coming through in your own life of a similar trait. It may be things you're meditating upon or things happening directly in the 3D. So the energies can bounce back and forward, especially when I actually tune into earth, air, fire, water of who you may be directly dealing with. It can be their energy of what they're thinking or vice versa. So put it where it connects. Otherwise, book a reading and I can tune into your energy. You're going to hear something regardless. There is a download of something spreading around, some aspect of gossip. It might be a frequency you receive, something you intuitively know, but something is going on through the grapevine. It might be what you're doing or what they're doing. There might be losses connected to finance and doubts, and a lot of us are really, you know, we have struggled this year. It has been different. Some of us have been changing jobs. Others of us have been purging, and balancing that job has been problematic. Karmic cycles within career, children, karmic energies within partnerships. These things have been transpiring within connections, and the loss of what you've lost and what you've got is a deep reflective energy coming through. It also might be to the point where you moved in your life in an excessive manner and you're having that clarity connected to it. It's like, okay, where did I give too much? Where did I give too little? Where were people taking a lot from me, but me really not getting it in return? The clarity can be coming on both sides, your side and their side, of really processing this factor and intuitively mirroring each other in that similar sense. Any aspects of sacrifice might be coming through now due to the fact there's Christmas, New Year. You might have some aspects of obligations going on around you at the moment. So it's trying to keep the balance in that and feeling semi-stuck, but it's for the higher good, so to speak, in the midst of things. But there is this aspect that you're manifesting something and you're changing something, you're taking your power back. And there is a lot of luck connected to this frequency. But I feel it's really a planning and moving, and it's very calculated energy that you're seeing the bigger picture and you're applying it, although there's things going on around you, I'm saying. You're really trying to make very, very realistic choices within the 3D notion of where you currently are right now, regardless of what your higher self is telling you. Now, when I say the higher self is telling you to do something in a particular manner for the betterment of the entirety of the situation. So you are taking accountability for the choices you're making, in the way you're reacting, in the way you're communicating, so that you can come full cycle to move your situation forward. You're being cautious, but you're being correct. You're balancing two given situations. So for some of you, your heart might be with your twin. Others of you, you might be in a karmic connection. But you're seeing the bigger picture. You're trying to address the aspects of the responsibility in front of you in order to move your life forward. This can be some of you also having too much on your plate and really dealing with a lot to get everything done to move through to the other side. I'm also feeling this is going to upbeat your spirit and make you feel very confident within yourself. But also what is happening is there could be clashes connected to a karmic energy, your frequency, a humbling of that, and that's really a block at the moment. But again, I do mention in the other readings that any blocks are aspects that directly make us. So if we're having a time frame where we're hearing something within readings and it's the direct block, the block is what shapes the person. So never get triggered by hearing what the block is within the reading, especially if they're very stubborn souls, be it feminine or masculine. We all are to a degree. That sometimes has to happen at a very sharp interval ongoingly, where it's suppressive energy. So somebody around them could be very vanity driven and really using their cash and they're trying to balance it. But it can be 100 things, but it's really, this frequency is blocking this feminine or masculine from being able to move forward. But it's so healthy, because if it's not of their natural vibration and they're living within it, it transforms them nevertheless to get to a point they own their power. It does make them feel sensitive. They're feeling this heightened emotion. That also is an aspect of a block where they're looking at it as a weakness, but it's actually moving through that beyond the ego to the point that where they feel if they let their guard down, there's nothing wrong in that. There's risk in all connections. And it's really transmuting that frequency to show them that regardless of this factor, they are safe within it. What is also blocking them is an aspect of attaining their freedom, but I feel suddenly them coming out of a karmic situation, be it a work-related dynamic, a band-aid effect, whatever is going on with them, to a point they're out there in the cold, but it doesn't feel an out there in the cold. It feels they've chosen to make a decision of what they feel spiritually correct, and now they've got way too much time to think. But they're making decisions based on what they've experienced, but they're being very, very rational with their choices. Now, if you're dealing with an earth sign, Scorpio, it may be they're moving things out of their life that no longer relates to them. They're also getting to a point where they're freeing up their time, and I see throwing out of things. So it can be they're throwing out things, preparing obviously for the silly season, and there's a lot of space in between the both of you. They are very down at the moment. They're feeling a bit melancholy connected to the connection, and they're wondering if this loyalty and this binding of the two of you is going to come about, and if it's still boding incredibly well. How do you put it? It's almost like if this is the way they're viewing you, they're still holding space for you. They might be wavering to the point where they've given up, which is good because it means they're releasing the direct expectation. But they're faithful to you, but wondering, do you feel the same? But they're holding that lighter vibration of love because they still have the room in their heart for it, which is really interesting, because I'm feeling the frequency of great hurt on your side or their side, but there is still direct room in the heart for it, but they've released the codependent aspects of it. I feel regardless, this is making a very healthy thing. Both of you individually are really grounding your lives, or attempting to rather, in order to prepare for a more rational way of meditating upon the given connection between the two of you. Air signs are being very faithful to themselves and to the people around them. They're working really hard. They're also looking at it from a very practical point of view. They're really learning a lot about themselves and about you. You've educated them and they've educated you. But, you know, they could be happier. They could be happier about the situation, but they're transforming, they're learning. They're not really loving the lessons, but they know it's part of the transformation. But towards you, they also see that this is what's so. So really the energy, again, does go both ways. I feel that I see them being really busy. It's slowing down to the point they're having more time to meditate, very similar to you. And I do see some aspects of conversations going on. But I am seeing that they're being very practical. It might be discussions of what both of you have physically gone through that are coming up in the conversation as well, if you're communicating. Fire signs. They can be dealing with the aspects of abundance, what they believe abundance is, be it emotional, physical, or 3D. They're also very tired and need a break. And this is coming through a lot this month for the fire signs. And this is for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. It's like they're really tired. They're really tired. They're really needing a break. I feel they're in their minds and they're getting to a point they've just been thinking way too much. And it's like, gee, seriously, I just need to lack this seriousness at the moment. But there is communication coming in. They still do want to communicate with you. So if they're coming across as strange, you know, in the next few weeks, try not to take it seriously. Try to understand that it's a mental process they're going through right now. Now, this could be the way you see your twin, or this is the way they're seeing you. But whatever's going on in the both of your lives, again, I am directly seeing a lot of meditation going on. I feel the fire signs are very frustrated in some shape or form, but very fatigued. So, you know, it may be that this month there could be sharp tongues, but again, we're leaving a karmic cycle, but some of this frequency is actually going to travel over into January, so to speak, especially connected to the lunar eclipse. So be mindful of that. Look at February as New Year. That would be the way I would suggest. But regardless, go into it open-minded. And it's nothing you can't handle. Water signs dealing with Scorpio. You know, you're in that mode of party. That's what I'm hearing. Celebration, party. Okay, let's just put all conflict aside. Let's just be very practical. Not thinking about the past, not thinking about the old days, thinking about, you know, some of you, how do I put it? You're more reminiscing, connected to the old days than the future. So you're dealing more with 3D notions of where you are, but what you come from and where to move forward from here. Again, you are knowing that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel, that there is going to be a blessing for all the hard work and the transformation that you have gone through. And you know that you can't break what's broken. So you're semi-becoming more realistic, connected to this, as to how to look at the direct connection, your path, and what you've learned. I feel you guys are holding in quite a bit though. Even though you're looking back, it's like on the surface, happy, underneath the core, still looking at the past, the old days. But yes, you're knowing there's a blessing in the past, there's a lesson in the past, and there's something coming forward for you in the way you can directly communicate with twin or a new connection. Really, for you guys, it's like whatever decision you guys are going to make in the element of water signs, and that's on masculine and feminine, because that's both sides connected to each other or a soulmate and your whole life. I feel you guys are the ones that are going to make major decisions. Fire signs are looking at their life completely different, where they're becoming more practical and taking on the energy of like a Libran energy. I want balance. I want simplicity. Do I have to work like a dog? You know, it's really that frequency coming. Earth signs are getting to a point where they're realizing they've got to take their guard down, but there is a lot of hurt coming up and betrayal and needing that aspect of what's real. You're tired of being in the shadow and hiding. And air signs, you guys are tired. You've been through it. You're doing the work. You're really wanting the bigger picture. You're looking ahead. You're being practical to the point of being in the here and now, but you're directly looking at the future as the bigger picture. So you're not being driven by ego. You're seeing the bigger picture, but you're coming back down and getting grounded, but you're looking at the 3D still. So you are in the moment. You're looking at the twin connection very differently. But it is from a healthy standpoint. So that can be masculine or feminines within the air signs as well, directly connected to the Scorpio energy. So again, I'll leave it at this. I'm not having a bad feeling. I'll try and do mid-months and tune in. I'm going to do it a little bit differently mid-month if I have time to. So forgive me if I haven't. I'm really cramming. But I do feel as though a lot of these karmic cycles are ending. If there is going to be communication, flow with it. But what you may find is the transformation is coming through of January as well. So bear in mind, go easy on yourself. It's a bit like having a tower moment at Christmas or New Year. You know, it's like some of us might just put the pause button on, move through the frequency and step into the new year with more open arms, ready to address whatever's to come. Love and light, and I will talk to you guys soon.